What is going on, guys? It is me, Ark here, and today we're going to be looking at how to use the admin table in Among Us. So for this video, I'll be referencing the map The Skeld. However, the tips and tricks I tell you in this video can apply to the admin table on both Polus and Mira HQ as well. I've decided to split the video up into 5 sections, and these are as follows. The timestamps for each section will be in the description. I don't want to spend too long on this part, as I feel that it's quite subjective. However, my first part in this video will be when should you be on the admin table. For me, there are two answers to this. To actually be good at admin table, you have to be on it for a sufficient amount of time, which means that you can't be dipping in and out. So you have to be on it for a prolonged amount of time, which means you have one problem. When do you do your tasks? I see a lot of people in the community trying to do their tasks very quick at the first rounds and then staying on the admin table. And I also see a lot of people going straight to the admin table from CAF and staying there for pretty much the whole game. And then they will proceed to do their task towards the end. The only real important piece of information I can give you here is that you need to be on the admin table for a good amount of time to actually catch the imposters, which means that for each round, you should decide to either be on the admin table or you do your tasks. I wouldn't start on admin table and then go do tasks within a round. I'd either do tasks, then go to admin table, or stay on admin table the whole time. This, of course, doesn't factor in if you've left the admin table to go check for an imposter or bodies. However, overall, you should try and stay on admin table if you're trying to catch the imposter. I'll leave that decision up to you guys, as it often comes down to playstyle. So let's get on to how to actually use the admin table. As you can see, I've got 3 of my clones here, and they're going to help illustrate some points. These 3 are going to remain in CAF for the time being, and I'm going to head to the admin table. As you can see here, there are 3 icons that are present in cafeteria and 1 in admin. These icons represent players. So as you saw, I just left 3 players in cafeteria, and now, what do you know? There's 3 icons representing those 3 in cafeteria. If you look at admin, there's also 1 in there, and that represents me. This is how players are shown on the admin table. Players will always be shown if they are in a room, and these are represented by the darker green areas that are labeled with names, such as upper engine, medbay, and cafeteria. The lighter green areas are the hallways, and these blips and these little icons are not present in the hallways. Easy enough so far. So now we're going to look at what if a player is moving. As you can see, one of the icons just disappeared from cafeteria. It didn't appear anywhere, and then it appeared in medbay. What we can take from this is that the person ran from CAF to medbay. The reason why is because first off, someone disappeared from cafeteria, which means one of the 3 in cafeteria had left. People don't show up in hallways, which means the person had either gone through the hallway by admin and storage, by weapons, or by medbay and upper engine. The fact that they appeared in medbay, we can tell that they went through the left hallway. Now the medbay icon has disappeared. The icons have gone in upper engine. Now in security. So we can take from that the person has ran from medbay into the hallway. They've ran to upper engine. They've ran through the hallway below upper engine and gone into security. The 2 people in CAF have remained there the whole time as their icons have not disappeared. So that is the basics of the admin table. It seems simple, but having to track all players at once is quite a difficult task. So the admin table becomes quite a nuisance when you have so many active moving players. In that example, we only had 1, but imagine having 9 people moving about. It's a lot harder to use. Next up, we're going to be moving on to how to spot an imposter on that admin table. In this situation, there's me and admin, 1 person in CAF, and 2 in security. The 2 basic ways to spot an imposter on the admin table are through a kill and through venting, which both show up. You're going to want to look at the 2 people in security. As you can see, a blip just happened. Now someone's left security, and they've gone to lower engine. That blip that you just saw represents a kill on the admin table. It's represented by someone disappearing from a room and almost immediately reappearing. This can be confused with somebody actually leaving a room and coming back straight away. However, more often than not, it does represent a kill. I've run this back, so if you look at the two people in security, you're about to see the kill happen again. And there we go. I want you to focus on the person in lower engine. They're now in reactor, and back, reactor, back, reactor. And now, they're in upper engine, and back. Upper engine, back. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but this is venting on the admin table. And this is the other way, the other basic way to catch the imposter. So you guys may be wondering like, oh hey, what does that show? Well, this person started in lower engine, and then they immediately appeared in reactor without having disappeared off the map at all. What this means is that they didn't go through a hallway, as their icon didn't disappear. And if you're a crewmate, to get from lower engine to reactor, you have to walk there, which means you would have disappeared off the admin table for a short period of time. The fact that they didn't disappear means that they vented. It was illustrated by both venting from lower engine to reactor and back, and also from venting from reactor to upper engine and back. In the same way that somebody quickly leaving and entering a room again can be mistaken for a kill on admin table, there is also a way to mistake people for venting. This is by having more people in the game for a start. As we know, in my game, there are only 3 other people. So the person that is moving from lower engine to reactor, there is only one other person, and it has to be a vent. However, if we say had a 5th person, just waiting, let's say, outside lower engine, as soon as the person leaves reactor, the person near lower engine could enter, and it would look like someone has vented from reactor to lower engine, when in fact, no one did. This is something you should keep in mind when reading the admin table, but just like with the kill, you should probably assume that someone did vent. Just to finish this section off, we're going to look at a real game example of 2 kills happening almost at the same time. I'll also show an in-game example of someone venting. I'm guessing you guys probably found that quite crazy compared to what we've looked at so far. This is the real admin table. This is what it looks like in a game, with all these people dotted around the map. I don't know if you picked up, but there were 2 kills just then, and I'll be going over both of them. So I want you guys to focus on electrical first, as a kill is about to take place there. Next, look at upper engine. And one more time in full speed. As you can see, in game, that's very hard to follow. I actually managed to pull both reads off, and I managed to get that information out to the crew in the meeting. However, in some games you may miss this. That's why it's important to focus on the areas where kills are likely to happen. The areas you will want to focus on are areas with 2 or more people in them. Kills happening in corridors and hallways will not show up, so it's more useful for you to focus on the rooms, as you'll be able to read those. So in this example, I've just hopped onto admin table. If you look at shields, there's 2 people there, now 1. Now someone's in nav. Now someone's in weapons. And if you can't tell, that looks exactly like venting to me. Person's gone back to nav, to shields. And at this point, I'm almost sure they're just venting about. Again, they went from shields to nav. They stay there. So for this part of the video, we're going to be looking at advanced ways to catch out the imposter. In this example, there's a flashing arrow, yellow and red, on the left of the screen, and it's pointing towards electrical. The lights are off. As you can see, someone's by electrical. They've just entered. and they're not fixing the lights. Although there is no kill or vent which confirms it to be an imposter, we can assume that this person is the imposter waiting for a kill, as a crewmate in this position would almost always fix the lights, and you can question them about this in the meeting. Another thing to be wary of is this. As you can see, there's one person in CAF, one in security, and two in admin. I'm in admin. However, I can't see anyone else. As you can see, I've done a little lap. There's no one else in there. No one that I can see. However, this still shows that there's someone. This means that the person is in the vent. So in this position, I'd probably go up to the cafeteria table, call the button, and ask where everyone was. A lot of advanced methods on how to catch the imposters are learnt as you play, and you can make up your own ones. One example I can give is if two people enter a hallway, and one exits, and they run off, but no one else exits that hallway, then you can assume that the person who ran away killed someone in there, and their body is in the hallway. As kills don't show up on the hallways, it's vital that you try and read between the lines. We're now going to move on to the last section, and this section is how to find out the color of the imposter, or imposters. So far, we've been able to locate which icon on the map is an imposter, and we have that ability now. However, we still don't know which color that is. If you don't get what I'm getting at here, essentially, by looking at this table, we can see icons representing players, but the colors of the players are not shown, which means we're going to have to manually go and figure out which color is which icon. Now, obviously, with this table at the moment, there's two people in reactor and one in nav, sorry. We don't need to go and run to reactor, verify the two colors, run to nav, that's not what I'm saying. We only need to do that if we see an imposter. So if we see a kill or event, we can try and cut that person off. And that's what this video is going to illustrate. So there's me and admin, one person in nav, and two people in reactor. If we focus on the two in reactor, a kill is about to take place. The kill has happened. Now someone's vented to upper engine. And they're in the hallway on the right of upper engine. So I'm going to make the decision here to leave admin. I'm going to try and cut this person off and figure out which color they are. As you can see, boom, orange. Now, it won't be as simple as that. They won't be standing still. They'll probably have ran into CAF. But you want to try and cut them off as much as you can. So you can assume that maybe they'd run to the top of CAF. You can run to the top of CAF. If you think they ran down, you can go across. Like, you've got to just make the decision how you're going to try and cut them off. One important thing to note that I forgot to mention. This still image shows the person in nav. The person having just killed in reactor has vented to upper engine. I'm in admin. Now there's still an icon present in reactor. And what this shows is that the dead body doesn't disappear, which is something very important to note. So when someone's dead, they will still appear on the table as an icon. You won't be able to tell they're dead, but if they don't move for a long period of time, you can assume that an icon is dead, and go check it out. Other than cutting people off, my favorite way to actually figure out which color is the imposter is to use our meetings. With the information from admin table, I can relay this to the crew and get vital information from them, as they were there in person and can tell me colors. To show you what I mean, we're going to look at the two examples I showed you earlier of someone killing in-game and someone venting in-game, and how I got this information out to the crew, and how I used it to track down the imposter. So if you guys remember, there was a kill in electrical and a kill in upper engine. There were 3 people in electrical, and 1 died, and then there was a kill in upper engine. And now, White's body has been reported. White's body was the one in electrical. There were 2 people in there, along with White, and they were green and blue. And blue is accusing green, and green is accusing blue. Now, the fact that we were on admin allows us to confirm this, and we know that no one vented in, and there was no one else in there that could have done the kill. Meaning that the killer has to be between green and blue, and we're fine with shooting both, to ensure that we get at least one imposter. Unfortunately, we don't have any information about the upper engine kill. However, Getting one imposter out is good enough. Now we're going to look back at the example of someone venting in-game. As you can see, the person's venting on the right side between weapons and nav. In this position, the best thing I can do is try and get people to give alibis for each other. So as you can see, there's someone in admin being cyan, and there's 3 or 4 people on the left. I know there's 7 people left in the game at this point, so I should be able to go and press the button and figure out who the person venting is, as everyone else should be accounted for. So that's what I decide to do. The person who was venting was the imposter, and it turned out to be purple. The way I figured this out is red, yellow, and black were all on the left side, and they could all account for each other. They weren't lying, as 3 people vouching for each other means at least one person is crewmate. Cyan and orange were in admin with me, and that only leaves purple. Purple said he was in upper engine, but the person on cams couldn't verify that, and no one on the left saw him. Therefore, we decided to vote up purple. Usually you wouldn't vote on 7, but we'd already got one out, being brown, and we knew this for 100%, so we decided to shoot and we got it right and won the game. So that concludes this video. You're now able to use the admin table, which is by far the most powerful tool in Among Us. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing if you found this tutorial helpful. I will link the Discord server I play on in the description if you need a place to play Among Us with a voice call. I've been Archangel, hope you guys have a great day.